This is the problem with this chaotic tariff system, is that even like once he decides to stop with the tariffs, if you're an investor, how do you know? If you want to invest in some business, or you want to like you want to start buying product again, and you want to start that process without finding out, oh, okay, the ship's here, I got to pay extra tariff. When do you do you make that jump? If he keeps going in and out, in and out, in and out of it, it's going to take you longer to be convinced that he's finally stopped that, and it's going to short investments.
And especially because it's not like the whole entire industry, I think, basically is on this sort of just-in-time sort of strategy. And if I understand it right, it's basically like they've sort of timed everything down to like clockwork, so that they get the thing in when they'll get the tires when the car is ready to get tires put on. It's not like they have all of the pieces.
Once you lose one component, the whole thing breaks down.
Yeah, but it's also like they have all of the components arriving, sort of scheduled to arrive when they would be needed to put on the car in the course of the assembly. And then so it's like if there's no, so that requires a certain level of certainty, and you can't sort of like, okay, I'm going to order a bunch of extra tires while it's low prices before the tariffs come in, so that I can maybe inure myself, because they literally don't have anywhere to put them, because they've designed it to only have the space for the tires like the day they're putting the tires on.
There has been some attempts at front loading, but the thing is, you need space to front load, and some things can't be front loaded. Yeah, there's some stuff they can do. Like, for example, like when I was reading about front loading, I was reading about grocery stores doing it. That is perishable products. That if anything, that'll run out the quickest when it comes to front loading.
Yeah. It's
probably already gone.
Yes, unless you just do all cans and like.
I only sell ramen. There's a big ramen.
You could probably. I mean, I feel like we would be really. I feel like it'd be really upsetting to find out how long most of the stuff on our grocery store shelves could go without being swapped out and still be editable.
I would call it beautiful. Actually, I would call it a glorious human achievement.
Yeah, no, that's fair. There's a Victorian serf would be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's not all organic.
What do you mean? It's like, what do you mean you're not eating the apple just because it's 6 months old? Is it gonna kill me? No, then fine. It's be bad. And then the eggs, you guys can't, you guys are gonna run out of eggs.
We killed all the chickens, Biden assassinated them.
And that was the other thing, where it's like Trump is, you gotta really, at a time, you can never underestimate the effective power of an external existential threat, because not only did it make people start to like the liberals and Trudeau, maybe not
Could that be the last thing could that be the thing we end on? I was curious, because last time we talked, I think, the liberals' political fortune was basically down and out, and we were discussing how the next conservative premiership was going to go. Now, Justin Trudeau is gone. He's replaced with this guy, Mark Carney, who I believe was an investor of some sort, a banker or something.
Yes. He was the governor of the Bank of Canada during the 2008 financial crisis, and then he was the governor of the Bank of England during Brexit.
Yeah, so he's the governor of some banks, big bank boy, and
board chair of Brookfield Asset Management.
Then what happens? I hear Donald J. Trump happen. Am I correct?
Trudeau, that last Monday, when the actual tariffs came into effect, they came into effect for a couple hours and they were rescinded. When Trudeau did that press conference and said, well, we're going to do our own press conferences. He's calling Trump Donald and all this shit. I think that was as close as I think a Canadian politician will ever get to making the Independence Day speech. That was Trump was our giant extermination spaceship coming in to annex the country and put 20. And I've never seen such a immediate turnaround on sort of almost consensus public sentiment where it's like, yeah, fucking let's go Trudeau. Where it's like you saw Trudeau, Premier Doug Ford, Stephen Harper, all kind of singing from the same songbook. So now they went from 30 points down to the Conservatives at Christmas in some polls, average about 25 points down. It was like 45 to 20. They had lost Chrystia Freeland, who had resigned as finance minister because they were trying to replace her with Carney. And then Carney was just like, I'm not getting in there. Leadership race comes in, really turns everything around because it's all just in the shadow of Trump's trying to take over and rah, all this like sort of nationalism comes out of nowhere. And now they're ahead by a lot in some polls.
What's a lot?
Wild. Well, there are a couple of polls I saw, and some of them they're a little bit like sort of center leftish, but like still like very reliable. Who are saying like maybe up to a double-digit lead over the Conservatives now, where they're like the Liberals could win a majority, which I would have slapped you in the face if you had seriously tried to convince me of that, even in like December. If at New Year's you would come up to me and said, "Stuart, the Liberals are going to win a majority."
Are NDP people moving over to the Liberals?
Yes, yeah, a lot of them, like sort of squishy, more centrist lefties, who are doing that sort of strategic voting, where they're just going to the Liberals to just so they can make sure the Conservatives don't win.
What would you think of that type of voting right now, personally?
I mean, honestly, I think strategic voting probably makes more sense in a parliamentary system because it's really like you're not voting for a prime minister. You're voting for your member of parliament in your individual riding. And then whichever riding, or like whichever party has the most seats gets to be prime minister.
And
so if you're in a
NDP
riding,
got like 500 votes compared to a 20,000 vote race, like what are you going to do?
Yeah, and maybe it looks like the margins, it's going to be about a 400 or maybe even 100 vote margin between the Liberals and the Conservatives. And you're the NDP, and there's only about maybe 300 of you in the entire riding. In that case, like I don't think you're like wrong to vote for the Liberals in that case, because that doesn't mean you're not going to get any NDP, because that just be there's could be other ridings where, because there's some ridings where it's NDP Conservative who are sort of neck and neck for first, and Liberals are a distant third. It just depends on sort of the demographics and which province you're in. So, and in those cases, if you're a Liberal, you should be, and you don't want the Conservatives to win, you should probably be voting for the NDP. And sometimes for the Conservatives, if you're probably not going to like, if you're in like a sort of progressive seat, maybe vote for the Liberals, because you probably, of the two, you probably don't want the NDP to win of the two, but maybe not now. I don't know. But yeah, like I think it's probably smart in certain instances. It can be a little bit sort of, again, most of the time it's just self-serving when you hear it coming from usually liberal partisans, because they're not actually trying to be strategic. They're not saying, oh, only in those ridings should that happen. They're like, no, but all of the NDP voters should come vote for us in every riding so we can beat the Conservatives and get the biggest. So it's
about helping the Liberal Party more than it is about getting the best makeup of Parliament.
Well, I mean, no, I think when you're doing strategic voting, I think it's more.
No, I'm talking about if you're just telling people to vote for Liberals across the board, even in the places where the NDP could be the Conservatives, then it's just about, you just want to help the Liberals. You don't really care about anything else.
Yes, and also in some of those instances, if you're telling them to vote NDP to vote Liberal in some of those other ridings, you're hurting the Liberals too, because it's just like you're like, why would you? If you're the Liberal, I would assume you'd want more NDP elected. And that, I guess, depends on the Liberals. But so it's like, if you're going to be strategic, actually be strategic.
So
figure out who your MPs are.
What has the Conservatives done in response? Have they decided, Trump, you suck now? But they can't really do that, can they? Because there's a portion of the base, or Have they decided that they? I mean, right now it's like do or die. No.
Well, I mean, it's yeah. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like if it's I don't know what happens if they ended up blowing this lead, but they like it's weird because they are trying to do that tightrope because in some polls it'll say like up to a third of their base will say that they support Trump at some level, whether it's 100% they support him or they just support him on certain things. So they are trying to do that tightrope. We also have a sort of further right party called the People's Party, which is run by Maxime Bernier. He was on, I forget what one of those right-wing podcasts, but he's like the sort of Italian dude who's orange, got real dark black hair. He's always talking about how he wrote a book. But he's got like, type in Maxime Bernier podcast and it'll come up. And
how do you spell his name?
MIXIME BERNIER.
MIXIME. Maxime Bernier.
Yeah, Bernier. It's like Bernie, but with an R.
And
at
then
the end.
Podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
The Max Bernier show, or his recent appearance at the PBD podcast.
Yeah, PBD. That's the one.
Oh God.
Because he's been going around doing all the right wing sort of.
Is this the guy who's gonna save Canada?
Probably not.
No.
He's like he got about 5% of the vote in 2021, which is almost one of the main reasons the Conservatives didn't win that election.
I remember he had the purple. Their team was like purple or whatever.
Yeah, they're purple.
I know that's the silliest way to put it, but that's the only thing I remember of them is that they're purple, and everything I read for them seemed racist, and that might be a little bit of a blanket statement because I don't know anything about them, but when I looked at it and I looked at what some of the candidates said, and then when I looked at what a lot of their supporters were saying, I was like, this does not seem motivated by love for thy fellow man.
Well, what I will say is one of the main attack lines I've seen from Bernier against Poilievre is about how he's a sellout and a liar because while he does want to reduce the level of immigration to a slightly lower level, even our conservatives, they're like, we'll bring it down. We're going to really cut down on immigration. It's going to be like a 0.5%. It's going to be huge. But he's pissed that Poilievre wants to let any immigrants in at all. And they sort of like they were formed like before the 2021 election, basically out of like counter reaction to vaccine and like lockdown mandates sort of thing. So yeah, they're like well far to the right of the Conservatives.
Okay, let me see what this guy's about quick.
Poilievre is a liberal light. For Trump, dealing with Carney or dealing with Poilievre is the same. Poilievre is more against Trump, and he wants to go ahead and impose more tariffs. He tried to pander to that leftist electorate, but it is time to be serious. This country will be destroyed by mass immigration.
Why is he loved by his...
I'm sorry. The fucking and just like a guy looking at his phone. He's just like doom scrolling. The most danger that man is to himself, okay?
By mass immigration.
Look how scary these people look how scary.
Yeah, this is their
do you see those women smiling and hugging each other?
Because what's good is if it was like anywhere else, they would have tried to find some sort of like B-roll news clip.
Yeah, or like some like random black guy who looks angry, like
like some sort of riot, or at least one person of color of an origin they're not going to tell you, looking kind of angry, and they clearly couldn't even find that.
Some like freeze frame from when somebody like was talking and it's just like a bad ugly moment. It's just something like that.
This is literally the shitty reflecting pools. Sorry, Toronto, outside of the Toronto City Hall.
So the fear is just there's
Canada
a lot of brown
Day.
people here. That's the only. That's the scary.
100%.
The scariness is the brown people.
Yeah, that they're here. at all.
And it's not even like,
That's-
honestly, I'm going through this picture and I think like I'm seeing white people in this picture still. It's like
I
half of
still
the people
think
here
it's
are still,
almost
like, white.
majority white still.
I was actually making that calculation in my head if there's majority of these people here are white or not. I think it's like 50-50 just about. And this is like the only this is the worst frame they could find. Okay.
Why is he loved by his party?
Because when he did campaign, he was speaking like a real conservative.
The impression to me is like you're running to daddy to protect from a bully.
If we want to have a deal, we need to put that on the table.
I like the
Carney
cutting there that
is
implies
the
that
globalist.
UK is the bully we're running away from. We're running to the US. Or,
The
like,
Commonwealth
from the
is
bully, the
reasserting
UK.
itself.
Yes, exactly.
Brexit was just a start.
in chief,
What does it mean to be a Canadian?
saying that we are putting Canada first. It's not a slogan for me, it's a reality. But for Polyev, it's an anti-slogan.
I still
What does that even mean? What does it mean to be Canadian? Putting Canada first. That doesn't. Is that
And
just like the is that true about everybody? Like, what's it mean to be an American? Being American for that doesn't mean anything. What that doesn't give any description to your country. Okay.
And it's and it that they that's one of the, I think one of the things where it's like they've been sort of where the liberals have sort of gotten an edge on this, where they're a lot better at doing that sort of saying something that sounds meaningful and like heartfelt and patriotic while not being a jingoist and making people uncomfortable, or B, actually saying anything of value that you would actually have to be like held like to account for or expected to follow through on. Whereas the conservatives, they're sort of like they've like Poilievre's thing where he has made his slogan, or one of them, Canada first for a change, which is like he's trying to say that Canada first, Canada last, Canada always was something Laurier said. But one, when you're saying Canada first in 2024, the majority of people are thinking America first, not Laurier. And two, does any historians or electoral historians in the chat, the slogan "Leaders for a Change," does that ring a bell to anybody?
Did MLK say that?
No.
Oh.
1987 presidential
said by
election.
Oh. Who said that?
Not 1987. It was Bob Dole and oh god, who is he the VP to? God damn it! But it was
I was I don't remember. I wasn't alive.
Leaders for a Change. Now I can't find it. Wait, so I said it so confidently. Now I look silly. It was a presidential slogan, I think, for the 70s or 80s.
He was. Oh yeah, Bush.
Was it Bush too?
Oh wait, no. He was Dole
Yeah,
was
no,
the
it was Jimmy
Republican president.
Carter.
Dole was the Republican presidential nominee, and Jack Kemp was his running mate.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, it was.
So was it Dole's campaign slogan?
No, it was Jimmy Carter versus Dole.
Oh.
And Jimmy Carter's campaign was his slogan was "Leaders for a Change."
Oh, I should have known that.
And so there's one I should find you where it's like I should send you one of these the conservative ad, because this one also
Because I thought Jimmy's slogan was "Why not the best." I just looked it up, and that's what I remembered.
Yeah, no, they all get recycled. But there's another one where it's like this one where I watched it and I'm like, this is Morning in America. The conservatives did a Canadian Morning in America ad, which I kind of respect, because I was like, I'm the only person in the world who's gonna even know that this is an allusion to it. I just put the link in your thing.
Okay, let me check it out.
A country
Is it so? This is the conservative ad.
Yeah, they put this out. Oh god, 6 months ago. So in September.
Mm.
It was right before
Is
the
built
violence.
by the people who rise when it is still dark. The servers and soldiers,
It's morning
the
in
farmers
Canada.
and factory hands, the nurses and night shift workers, often called ordinary people, but they are extraordinary. They carry
There's
the government on their backs
Endo.
with little reward. You now pay more to bring home less. That is if you can afford a home at all. Many live in fear of crime and chaos. But there is a new dawn rising, where hard work is rewarded, where there's affordable food and a home in a safe neighborhood, where everyone gets a fair shot at a good life, where common sense is common, and where, after the night, no matter how long or dark, comes morning.
Oh my god.
Let's bring it home.
In Canada.
The music's a little much, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they've done a couple of those. There's like one where they went after. I swear to God, if I sent you this clip, it's about 13 minutes, so you could probably watch it on your own. But if I told you that the Bernie Sanders campaign had made this ad rather than the federal like center right party in Canada, you would probably believe me. Like they're going after Mark Carney because Brookfield. They created sort of like a health insurance company that was insuring coal miners, and the health insurance company was denying black lung sort of I think like treatments and like payments for it. And it's just like, this is nuts. And then like earlier in the day they attacked them as like a union buster. So it's very going to be very, very interesting.
So who are you
yeah.
voting for?
I will probably mark my ballot.
You're probably what?
Yeah, unless it's, I'll probably mark my ballot unless it's a super like runaway, and then we'll just vote for the incumbent.
Nobody's earned your vote.
No, well, it's because it's like it's riding by riding, so it's like I'm not too, unless there's someone like that actual MP that we have as an incumbent is like doing a really bad job, and it's hard to kind of screw up that badly at a riding level as an MP. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm just a journalist, so I'm not gonna. I just do that so I like there's less chance of me getting invested one way or another, and also like every time there's an election, you get assigned a story about voter turnout. And it would feel weird writing a story about like, why is the voter turnout so low this year? And knowing full well I didn't vote. So it's just that's how I get my best of both worlds.
Fair enough. Okay, man. Mm-hmm. It was really nice talking to you. Is there anything else you wanted to say or shout out before you went to bed and got some Z's?
No, that's about it. Yeah, no, just check me out on my stream. I'll probably be streaming on Saturday. Do some catch up of the week if you want to get a quick, just sort of you want to find out what happened in the first week of the Canadian federal election. Who's up, who's down? There's a couple of I'll send you a couple of links actually before I leave because there were some very funny things that happened. Okay, I'll leave you with a joke from Polyev.
Okay. A joke from Polyev.
That was, yeah, because he told it's a very funny joke about income tax.
Who doesn't love a funny joke about income tax?
Mm-hmm. No, that's my favorite part of the elections is when they start doing this, like they start doing their stump stand up, because they're gonna be up there a while and they're gonna start to like get into the habit and feel themselves, so they start to get better at the jokes over a long enough period, which is very funny, but. Where is it? Okay, here it is. It's very short. Copy link. All right. There it is.
Okay. Check it out. Oh boy.
Have you seen this meme online. It's a little kid in the park
You know,
with
it's
his
always going
dad.
to be good when it starts with, I'm going to explain a meme from online to you.
Yeah, no. There's no way to do it. There's no way to do it. I've even tried to do it live on my show where you can even show it. And unless, like, don't even explain it. Just show it. Just show it. And that's all you can do. If you can't show it, then don't do it.
Or you just do it like Rorschach. You just go, it's all joke. And then you just start doing the joke. You just announce you're doing a joke.
This is basically like, I did see this great ditty on the internet. Let me just introduce it before I tell it. How much time does he have?
Have you seen this meme online? It's a little kid in the park with his dad. And the little munchkin is asking Dad, what is an income tax for? And the child is looking heartbroken as the dad explains to him that an income tax form... I'm sorry. I'm trying to picture a heartbroken child, truly devastated.
It's like has he just heard about income tax and he doesn't know what it is, but just the idea of income being taxed has made him so sad. Papa, is your income being taxed?
I believe these statists are violating my NCAP values, Papa.
Form is the opposite of a high school report card. He says, the better you do, the more you get punished, right? You know, it's the income tax is the fine you pay for the crime of working hard. Well,
why not just say the joke?
Yeah. If I told you he was a big fan of Milton Friedland, would you be surprised?
No.
No. Also, see that gentleman in the jersey, just sort of in the crowd?
That what? Oh yeah, I see it.
It says common sense on it, and if you let it play, you can sort of see there's a mountain range on there. If you had to guess what mountain range that is on the Federal Conservatives of Canada, their sort of common sense Canada jersey, what mountain range is on there?
I couldn't guess. I don't know if you guys even have a mountain. Maybe
well, we do.
Too.
We have most of the Rockies.
Ooh. So what's that?
But you'd be wrong if you would guess the Rockies, because that's the Matterhorn, which is hilariously is the same mountain that Trump used. That was in like that AI video when Trump was like, "I'm gonna conquer Canada," and he's like overlooking the mountain range. Yeah, in Switzerland. It's very funny. So that's your little tidbit for the day. Your little peek inside Canadian politics.
Honestly, I'll trade Trump for him. I'll trade him.
Yeah, no, huge. You'd be so much better off with Poilievre. Like it's not even.
I'll trade.
Not even in a heartbeat.
Well, man, it was good talking to you. You have a good one, and hopefully talk to you again soon, man. Bye-bye.
I feel like if you're like, we'll make Poilievre president of the United States and let you have like half of Canada, people would probably consider that bet. They would consider it.
What do you think?
Just to be like, what?
No, that'd be a sacrifice for you guys, because you guys are about to have the Liberals win. So if the deal was we're one country, but Poilievre is the monarch, that wouldn't be a good deal for you guys. No, that wouldn't. No one. We need to think of something else.
I think we'd take it just to be like, but we don't have to worry about Trump anymore. We can deal with everything afterwards. We just get past this.
That is true.
I don't know if they'd take the bet. I think they'd consider it a lot more. All right, but that's I gotta go to bed. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
It was nice talking to you, man. It was a real blast.
Yeah, and for people to chat, Left Hand Stew on everything. So just search that in social media. You'll probably find me.
Check him out. He's streaming this Saturday, and I'm not streaming Saturday, so that's something to do, guys.
Ooh.